In this video, I want to go over an absolutely awesome sequel being teased. I've been wanting an Okami sequel for so long, and it is being teased by the original director saying Okami is going to be back. We'll talk all about that. Also, Sony Ben's studio, who did Days Gone, is now in development, or rather, they're in pre-production of their next title. What could that be? We don't know, but I do want to take a look at that. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is due out on November 15th, and the game has officially gone gold. Final Fantasy XIV 5.1 update has added a Nier-inspired raid and much more. We'll talk that at the end of this video. First up, let's talk some incredibly exciting news about the possibility of an Okami sequel. Ikumi Nakamura may have left Tango Gameworks and the development of Ghostwire Tokyo last month, but she's kept herself busy, and by busy, she's teasing an Okami sequel with the original game's director, Hideki Kamiya. In a tweet posted to Nakamura's account on October 18, she and Kamiya are standing in front of a Platinum Games logo, presumably in the studio's HQ, when Kamiya says Okami is going to be back and gives the camera a thumbs up. Nakamura's reaction is pretty funny. She raises her eyebrows and asks, "Really?" Although Kamiya reassures her, it seems like the tweet is more of a temperature take on how fans would react to an Okami sequel, and obviously it was received really well, as the tweet has been liked more than 73,000 times, and it's a really clever move for a variety of reasons. First of all, you get to gauge the interest of the possibility of an Okami sequel, and it looks like there is that fervor, there is that wanton desire for an Okami sequel. Not only that, from Kamiya's standpoint, if he's just thinking, hey, I want to do an Okami sequel, but they're not really on board with it yet, but they're of this mindset of we're open to the idea of reviving these franchises, well, let me just generate some interest on social media. From his standpoint, it does make a lot of sense, and I do think at some point an Okami 2 will happen. Okami's that franchise that, yes, back when it released on the PlayStation 2, it wasn't a massive success. Critically, it was a massive success, and it's widely regarded as one of the best PlayStation 2 games of all time by the people that played it. However, commercially, it's not like it was a slam dunk home run. However, it's one of those games that over the years has really garnered this cult reception. After the release of Okami HD, more people played it, and I do think there's more clamoring for an Okami 2 now than ever before. And if an Okami 2 gets announced and it's in development, people would be super excited. I find it funny that they're in front of the Platinum Games logo as well. I imagine they're just at the headquarters, but could you imagine Okami 2 being done by Platinum Games? That would be ridiculous. However, Capcom's in-house studio would do a fantastic job with the game. Given what they've done with Resident Evil 2, given what they've done with Devil May Cry 5, given how they've revived Mega Man from the depths of hell. Mega Man was long gone a few years ago, but now it's a prominent franchise in gaming. Resident Evil is prominent. Devil May Cry is prominent. Why not add Okami into the fold? They've also got Monster Hunter, of course. Capcom is doing a really good job in establishing and re-establishing these franchises as major IPs, and Okami is one of those series that I do think can turn out to be a major IP, because the world is different now than it was back in like 2005 when Okami originally released. Now you have social media, now you have people just generally talking about games, and if a game comes out and it's truly remarkable, more often than not, it's gonna get the attention, it's gonna get that reception, and it's gonna be received well, and you have that inherent promotion that social media, Reddit, Twitter, Twitch, all of these other platforms offers you, which you really didn't have back in 2005. And yeah, Okami got some great reviews, but how important were game reviews back then? They weren't as publicized as they are now, so I just think an Okami 2 would do really well, whether it be a PS4 game, PS5 game, whatever the case may be. Let's make Okami 2 happen, and I do think based on this tweet, based on what Capcom has said about the fact that they want to revive old IPs and make them legitimate franchise and major franchise, I do think at some point Okami 2 is going to come to fruition. Alright, moving on from that, another title that's going to come to fruition, well, that's Sony Ben's next game, which we don't know what it's going to be. Days Gone, in fact, was a huge hit for first-party developer Sony Ben, and now the Oregon-based studio is beginning pre-production on their next project. Senior staff lighting lead Jeremy Vickery, who led the lighting team on Deacon St. John's debut, revealed on his LinkedIn profile that he's now involved in the pre-production planning for our next title. Exactly what this is still up in the air. We could see a Days Gone 2, even though Days Gone didn't have the strongest reception from a critical standpoint, has like a 72 on Metacritic, which is definitely respectable. The game actually sold really well. Not at the level of a Spider-Man or a God of War, but the game sold very respectable numbers, and a Days Gone 2 I do think would have a strong reception on the PlayStation 5. Do I really want to see a Days Gone 2? Am I personally killing for a Days Gone 2? No, not necessarily. I would much rather see a brand new Siphon Filter, or I would rather see Sony Ben create a brand new IP. It's okay sometimes if you create a game and it's just a standalone IP and you just let it simmer for a while. If that clamoring re-emerges and people want to see a follow-up to Days Gone, by all means you could bring the franchise back, but I don't think we have to be in this world where after a studio releases a new IP, you have to follow it up with a follow-up. I get the idea of it makes production of those games a little bit easier because you already have the fundamentals in place, but nonetheless, from a personal standpoint, I would like to see Sony Bend do something new or go back to Siphon Filter. I think those are the best options that they could have, but cool to see that they are working on another title, and I imagine that would be a PlayStation 5 title. Hopefully they can get the ball rolling on that rather quickly, because Sony Bend didn't do much on the PlayStation 4. Days Gone was really their only game, and now they're following it up with another game in development. Ideally, you would want a studio to be putting out 2 games a generation. I know that's a little bit difficult, but Naughty Dog has done it with Last of Us Part 2 and Uncharted 4. Sucker Punch is doing it with Infamous Second Son and Ghost of Tsushima. Insomniac did it with Ratchet & Clank and Spider-Man, and they even did Sunset Overdrive, so they did a few games. So ideally, you would like to be consistently putting out 2 games a generation. Let's see if Sony Bend can do that. Whatever the case may be, let's just hope their next game turns out to be a good one. Next up, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is a game that has really ramped up in anticipation and excitement over the last few days, and that's because the preview videos that have been uploaded have looked remarkable. Jedi Fallen Order was a game that I was really not sold on. I was like, man, I do not know how this game is going to turn out. On the premonition that it is a EA game, it is an EA Star Wars game. On top of that, yes, it's Respawn and they are super talented. However, EA and Star Wars have just not been a really good match after the release of Battlefront 1 and 2. However, after those preview videos, my excitement for Jedi Fallen Order has really reignited, and it makes me question who is deciding what gameplay is shown at these events. You had the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order debut gameplay, and that just didn't look that great. Who is deciding what is shown off and what is held off from being shown to the public? If we saw this gameplay initially when the game was revealed, I think people would have a lot more excitement for Jedi Fallen Order, but the game has fallen off a little bit. Whatever the case may be, Respawn has finished up with Jedi Fallen Order, noting on Twitter, quote, "We are proud to announce that hashtag Jedi Fallen Order has gone gold. We can't wait for you to embark on this adventure across the galaxy with us on November 15th. May the Force be with you." And they have a shot of the entire development studio. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that all work on the game is finished. They are going to continue to work on updates and everything like that. I don't know if DLC is going to be a thing in this game, as it is a single player focused game, and I'm sure they want to earn some goodwill and just give you an entire game right from the get-go. Whatever the case may be, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order will be hitting the PlayStation 4 on November 15th, a week after Death Stranding, so kind of a big 7-day span in terms of game releases for that, but nonetheless, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order should turn out to be a pretty good title. I have a lot of excitement for it now, and that really comes from all the preview videos we've seen, and Respawn, generally speaking, is a really good studio. Titanfall 2 was great. However, EA kind of screwed them over with Titanfall 2 as well, releasing that game right after Battlefield 1 and right around the same time as Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Just why would you release the game around that time? I get they have their release structure in place, but that was just a bad idea, and Titanfall 2 turned out to be a really good game, so that was rather unfortunate. But let's hope for the best out of Jedi Fallen Order, as it is dropping on November 15th. And lastly, I do want to give you guys a heads up that Final Fantasy XIV's 5.1 update is live. I don't know if it's actually live. No, it's not live. And lastly, I do want to give you guys a mention that Final Fantasy XIV's 5.1 update, bringing a Nier-inspired raid and much more, is coming on October 29th. Among other things, it will feature a new Gold Saucer Gate, a new Game Plus mode, new main scenario quest, and perhaps most importantly, a new Alliance raid that borrows from the world of Nier Automata. There is a trailer for the new patch, Vows of Virtue, Deeds of Cruelty. Check it out for yourself. A Nier Automata crossover with Final Fantasy XIV is going to be up a lot of people's alley, and it is a free update. Obviously, Final Fantasy XIV is a pay-to-play game, so generally speaking, you do expect these updates to be free, and you do expect sizable updates, but nonetheless, this is a rather good one. And that's going to conclude this video. Again, let me know your thoughts on the possibility of an Okami sequel. It's not confirmed that it's in development, however, it's being teased heavily, and with Capcom saying that they're going to be reviving old IPs, Okami is one that I definitely would love to see more of. Of course, we got Okami, and then we got the follow-up title in Okami Den. So Okami does have 2 titles in its series. Let's hope for an Okami 2, and let's hope for that on PS5. Sony Bend Studio is working on their next title, whatever it may be. It's in pre-production right now. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order has officially gone gold, and Final Fantasy XIV's 5.1 update, bringing a Nier-inspired raid, will be coming on October 29th. That's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.